What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to Pack Proof. Today we're going to be reviewing the Ultimate Adventure Survival Kit by Best Glide. I'm actually pretty excited to review this one. I've had this one in my kit for a little bit now. I actually have not used it. This weekend I'm going out and I'm going to film some stuff about this. We're going to test it out, see if you can even survive with it. But we're going to review it, check all the contents out, and then I'll have a video shortly after this with me out there using it. But to be honest, this thing is actually a pretty tight, small little box. It is metal. You can use this to boil water if needed. You don't have to really worry about the sticker. It'll just come off once heat gets to it, of course. It is waterproof around this. These are rubber right here, so they just pop on and roll back on. Pretty easy to do. So those are pretty nice. If you're using this to boil something or cook something, these little rubber things, as long as you don't get them in the fire, you can kind of pick it up with and not get burned touching the metal. And it just goes together. You can fit this in your pocket or a pouch or just somewhere in your bag. It doesn't take up a whole lot of space, but I just like it because it has everything you will absolutely need to survive for a couple days. I wouldn't say this is something you can survive with long term, but it'll definitely get you out of a hard situation. Or if you got a go bag or a bug out bag, this is just something you can throw in there, have extra supplies, or if you just need to grab it and go. Glove box, anywhere like that. This will fit in there really nice and still a big thing and not take up a whole lot of space. So let's just dive into it and check it out. So this is the most advanced one. This one is about $115 off Amazon. So it is a little expensive. They do have two other options. There's like a mid-grade and a low-grade. This one has everything in it from waterproof, not waterproof, but like water filtration. I will show you all the contents you get with the advanced one that makes it a little bit more. I think the one that's lower than this is 85, 90 bucks. I think it's 85. And then the one lower than that's like 45, but it doesn't come with nearly as much. So let's open this thing up and check it out. It does have a seal right here that's waterproof to keep the tin waterproof and everything. So I do like this. You can use this, I guess, if you needed to, a frying pan or something. But I wouldn't, mostly because it has the gasket to keep all the contents inside safe. But if you're surviving, it doesn't really matter. You're going to use all this stuff either way. First thing up, you have the basic survival tips. So this is actually pretty handy. It does tell you a few different things in here about signaling with planes and stuff. You can read all through this. You can pause it. I'll just leave it like this if you want to read that. In the back, pause it again. It's got like compass navigation, how to build a shelter. This is right here. If you look kind of right there in this picture, they have a fire blocker, so that, not fire blocker, but a windshield you can call it. So when your fire's going, that thing will protect it from wind blowing in all over the place. So that'll keep that nice and it'll kind of keep the heat in towards your shelter instead of just spreading out opposite way. So this is pretty nice. Some kits include this, some don't. I like that they included that. First thing up, you got a little first aid kit here. I guess we can open this thing up, check it out. Taped on. Nice little plastic bag, can never have enough of those. So inside the bag, let's get that out of the way. Just kind of take everything out real quick. So you can get it out. So in the first aid kit, you get this. Here, I'll just lay all these out real quick. You get ibuprofen. This one is non-aspirin. You get 2 of those, 2 ibuprofen. You get aspirin. So what is this one? So this is a pain reliever. And then in here, this is if you get sores on your feet, stuff like that, before your sores actually start. If you start feeling a soft spot, I would add this immediately. They actually give you a decent bit of it, and it would help out a lot instead of waiting till afterwards. You get some Band-Aids. These are not the Band-Aid brand. This is Best Glide's brand that they use. Sting relief. Get some ointments here. Get 3 of those. These are more of like, kind of like the nose Band-Aids. Like you can use these as stitches and stuff like that. By stitches, if you just take your wound, pull it tight, these center things kind of act like a stitch in a way. They do make actual stitch Band-Aids. And then you just get some big gauze sponges. So not a bad setup for a little first aid kit. There's actually a lot that comes in this for such a small little container. We'll just set all this out of the way. Next up, getting into the fishing kit side. In here, you get all sorts of stuff in here. You can read that if you want. One of these, keep the stuff dry. Right here, you get some fishing line reeled up in this little thing. It looks like 12-pound line. So not anything too big. It's about 50 feet of it. So you get a decent bit of line there, which is kind of nice. You get kind of like a fly fishing tip. All sorts of different hooks. You get 2 big, 2 medium, and 2 small. So you actually get a fairly decent amount of hooks. You get 3 weights. See if you can look at these better. You get 1 big one, medium, and a super small one. It's a pretty decent sized fishing kit for just a survival tin. It's actually kind of nice. Some don't include fishing kits. I do have a better review on Best Glide's actual survival fishing kit. It's in a different tin. They have a lot in there. Next up, we'll start with some fire starting. You get these little cotton things. You just kind of pull the ends apart and you light it with your flint, steel, or a match or a lighter. These things burn really well. You get 10 of these. So they actually give you a fairly decent amount of these. And then you get a SBIT fire block. You could cut these into 4s, as you can see there. They have them cut. These things burn for a while. If you've never used these, I think it's SOS or SBS that makes blocks that actually you don't have to take the wrapper off. You just light them up and they burn forever and they burn hot. Next up, this is something that you get in the advanced kit. It's a little thumb flashlight. It's not the best, but it will get you out of a situation if you need a little light. And these just take like key batteries and stuff like that. You get a beeswax candle. Beeswax you use for multiple different purposes, but a little candle if you just need a little fire. Next up, you get the signal mirror, and it's a it's the magnifying glass, if I can even pronounce it. So you can actually look at stuff. Let's just see. Get this out, and as you can see, it helps out a lot. You can get up close, pull back a bit, right there. This is kind of neat. You get 550 paracord. I would like to say this is about 25 feet of this. This is their green paracord used for multiple different things. So I'm happy that that got added in with this. There's so many uses of paracord. I can't really say anything other than you can use it for just about anything. They get a little wire saw in here. To be honest, these wire saws, like in a sticky situation, sure they will help, but these things really suck. They snap really easy on the line. If you pull on them wrong, they get too hot, they get snagged, they'll just snap. So these are alright. Can't say they're the best. Right here, you get a little flint and steel. You just kind of they got a little abrasive side. If you just scratch this stuff off, you see it's making spark. But if you take this and you leave this here and you pull this back, see, it made a little bit of spark if you scrape it more. Another tip, when you're striking these, the ferro rods, if you leave your here and you pull the ferro rod back and you pull it back like this instead of doing this, because if you do this, sometimes you grab and you flick too hard, you can knock all your starter stuff off. So that's just a tip. Little thing, I need that. These are water purification tablets. I would like to say these come in both kits. You get about 3, 4, 5, 6 of these, and there's one tablet in each one. So you filter some water with these. Water kind of stinks when you drink it with this. Not stink, but it just doesn't really taste too good. It tastes more like chemical water than anything, but if that's all you got, it's better than not having any water. This is what comes in this kit. This is a water straw, like a life straw. You just put the straw in it. Somewhere in here we'll find it. And this is how you can purify your water. This one only comes in the advanced kit though. Get a little sewing kit. We'll just open it up. You get string, or the sewing string. You get safety pins. You get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of those. This one's stuck inside there. 6 safety pins, different sizes, 2 buttons. This is what you feed your string through with. And then you get all sorts of needles. 2 sewing needles, 2 pins. I just set all this back so I don't lose this off. And it fits in this nice little baggie, so that's kind of nice. Next up, got matches to go with your fire starting stuff. So they got a lot of redundancies in here. These are pretty basic matches. These ones are by Best Glide. Another thing is, if you take this and you rip one of these off and you set this like this and you kind of smush your match and pull back, that's how you're supposed to start them with these. Get more waterproof matches. I'm pretty sure these are the Strike Anywhere matches. You get about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Get about 10 matches. That's pretty good actually for matches. So a lot of stuff for fire starting here, as you can see. So they really let you know that fire is pretty important out here for eating, boiling water, stuff like that. A little first aid info, so if you're got a buddy with you or something, you can write down their name, cell phone, I guess, but you're kind of be out there in the middle of nowhere if you know their blood type and stuff like that. Here is the Best Glide Emergency Survival Blanket. This one is green, and it does have the reflective side as well. I've heard good things about these. I've not got to use one, and it does tell you how to use it. So I'll be looking into that one. You get a pencil, a coffee filter. You can use this to filter water, all sorts of different stuff with these. So I'm actually kind of cool that they add this. You get a little bit more of like material here, fabric for sewing like your tent, or like you rip your pants or something. You can just sew this on so there's not a hole in your pants or your tent or whatever you need it for. Next up, they do add a little bag for your water. And it tells you right here how to use your straw. So this is pretty nice. I think this is about 16 ounces. Read that. And the straw is good up to 30 gallons. So pretty decent amount of water you can filter with that little straw. Not a whole lot, ain't gonna last you forever, but it'll get you through. They had another baggie in here. I'm not gonna undo this whole thing, but they had another baggie. It's about another 16 gallons. I meant 16 ounces. A roll of duct tape. Pretty decent amount of duct tape. You can always use duct tape. Tin foil. I'd like to say this is 16 or 20 by 20. They add a pretty decent amount of tin foil. You can use this for all sorts of stuff. Cooking your food, building a little fire bowl, or whatever you need this for, a little bowl to eat out of. Tin foil has many uses. Gonna get down here at the bottom. Open that in just a sec. They have a Write No Rain notepad. Does have some information right here. Little ruler on the side in centimeters and in inches. Snare wire, decent bit of snare wire. You can catch your animal wherever you need to with this. If you need to, you can always, it's harder, but you can use this as a fishing line. It's weird, I've seen it done though. 2 zip ties. A whistle, small little compass. It does work. A razor knife. Here's the straw to the life straw. You just push it down in there like that. Now you got it. And a multi-tool. So this one is a smaller one. Not the greatest, but it will get you out of a situation. We got the pliers, file, flathead, little knife. It's actually sharp. And smaller one on this side. They got can opener, a little saw, screwdriver, stuff like that. So this thing's got basically everything you need. Not the biggest thing, but it'll get you out of a situation. That's everything in the tin. As you can see, it's actually a pretty deep pan, so you can boil a lot of water in this, cook in this, do whatever you need to in this, collect water. That's why you got these bags for. In here, they actually give you a pretty big one. They got a cleaning rag, and then they got your emergency signal mirror. So this is actually pretty cool. They give you a pretty big one. I like to keep it in this because I don't want to ruin this. And that little hole in the middle, you can actually use that to start a fire if you need to. But that's everything in the Best Glide Survival Tin. Thank you guys for watching Pack Proof. Like and subscribe. And I'll be catching you guys out this weekend when I'm out camping with all this stuff. Till then, I'll see you guys.